Our featured speaker is an integrative medicine expert, doctor of sexology, psychotherapist, and the founder and medical director of the Academy for Integrative Medicine Health Coach Certification Program. Please welcome the best-selling author of Solving the Autoimmune Puzzle, The Woman's Guide to Reclaiming Emotional Freedom and Vibrant Health, Dr. Keesha Ewers.
Thank you. When I was a kid, I loved school until we moved to Florida. I was 10 years old in 4th grade and became one of 2 white girls in an all-black school. And boy, did I stand out like a sore thumb. In the corner of my classroom, there was that intercom box, the speaker, and it would go off at random times, week after week after week. Mr. Smith, will you send Keesha Ewers down to the vice principal's office? I'd put down my number 2 pencil and I would plead, begging with my eyes, don't send me back there. In the vice principal's office, Mr. Johnson would say things to me like, this won't happen no more, white trash, when you learn how to behave yourself. Once I screwed up my courage and I went to a teacher at recess and I tried to tell her what was happening in that room. And she said, shut your mouth and get back out on that playground. I tried to tell my mom. Once he had told me it was my fault, I kind of believed him. And I didn't have the words. Sex, abuse, molestation. So she sent me back to school. I couldn't tell my dad he was shipped off on an aircraft carrier somewhere between Florida and Vietnam. And that's when I wanted to die. That's when the little girl that I was thought I should be dead. It took 20 years for my body to catch up to that thought when I was diagnosed in 1998 with rheumatoid arthritis, an autoimmune disease incurable by Western medical standards. Autoimmune? How do I have RA? I run marathons, I cook everything by scratch. I have 4 gorgeous kids and a husband I adore. Why am I killing myself? Because that's what that word means. I'm committing suicide in a societally acceptable way. When did that start? Well, now you know. You want to know why there's an autoimmune epidemic in our country? It's these little girls and little boys that don't have the words. 1 in 3 girls, 1 in 5 boys is sexually assaulted in our country. And it's not just the capital T trauma of sexual abuse. It's any adverse childhood experience. According to the Adverse Childhood Experiences study that was done between 1995 and 1997 by the Centers for Disease Control and Kaiser Permanente, any kid with an ACE score, that means an adverse childhood experience, of 2 or more is at an 80% higher risk of developing autoimmune disease or any of the chronic illnesses that plague our nation. I had an ACE score of 2. So, this is why I write about this in Solving the Autoimmune Puzzle. It's so important. Matching drug to symptom, we know doesn't work, but neither does just a supplement or a diet. This has to be addressed. This is why I created the You Unbroken program to help people who had adverse childhood experiences deal with them in adulthood. It's why I wrote about it in my book, Solving the Autoimmune Puzzle. It's why I teach all my health coaches about how to heal this. It's why every patient that comes into my practice starts with the ABCs of trauma healing, even though they don't know what's happening. A, the ACEs quiz. Those questions get asked, but in a roundabout way, so they don't know. B, beliefs. Our brains are not fully developed until we're 26 years old. That means when we have an adverse childhood experience as a kid, our brains are immature. We make stuff up, right? Trip in front of the cute boy or cute girl in the lunchroom. Don't get picked for the baseball team. Flunk your first test. These are all adverse childhood experiences, and they impact your health and the quality of your relationships depending on what you started believing about them at that time. C, connect the dots between those beliefs, the behaviors that emerge from them, and what's on the end of your fork. how you're processing your information and your stressors, how you're sleeping, how you're moving, all of it. I am not a victim of sexual abuse. I am not a victim of a body who betrayed me by autoimmune disease and tried to kill me. Those are two of the best things that ever happened to me. I call them the weight, the resistance training in your spiritual gymnasium. They made me stronger, more resilient, more compassionate, a better mother, wife, healer, coach, guide, and entrepreneur. You are not a victim unless you choose it. You have to reframe your story to reclaim your health because you're the superhero of your own life.
Dr. Keesha Ewers. Great job. Dr. Keesha.